Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on the disparate types of advertisements. So, what are the different types of advertisements? Without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Unbeknownst to most people, there are a myriad of disparate types of advertisements. Some of the types of advertisements encompass radio advertisements, podcast advertisements, direct mail advertisements, television advertisements, billboard advertisements, mobile advertisements, social media advertisements, product placement advertisements, guerrilla advertisements, outdoor advertisements, display advertisements, native advertisements, pay search advertisements, cinema advertisements, magazine advertisements, newspaper advertisements, email advertisements, video advertisements, and specialty advertisements. There are a copious amount of disparate ways in which your advertisements are able to reach your target market. Advertisements do not need to be distributed via traditional advertising channels to reach a target market. Emerging advertising channels provide new ways for a company to advertise to its target market. A company, for instance, can even leverage augmented reality advertisements or virtual reality advertisements to promote its product offerings to its target market. Augmented reality advertisements are advertisements that can be experienced in augmented reality. Virtual reality advertisements are advertisements that can be experienced in virtual reality. Augmented reality advertisements and virtual reality advertisements can, for instance, be far more stimulating, extraordinary, engaging, and indelible than traditional advertisements. Traditional advertisements are often deemed to be banal, forgettable, non-stimulating, and vapid advertisements that do not entice the average customer to procure a product or service post watching the advertisement. Radio advertisements are advertisements that are featured on radio stations. Podcast advertisements are advertisements that are featured on podcast episodes. Direct mail advertisements are typically flyers, brochures, or catalogs that are sent to the customers via mail. Billboard advertisements are advertisements that are featured on billboards. Mobile advertisements are advertisements that are featured on mobile devices. Social media advertisements are advertisements that are featured on social media platforms. Product placement advertisements are advertisements that are featured in media such as movies and videos. Outdoor advertisements are advertisements that are featured outdoors, such as outdoor signs. Cinema advertisements are advertisements that are featured before a movie showing. Magazine advertisements are advertisements that are featured in magazines. Newspaper advertisements are advertisements that are featured in newspapers. Video advertisements are advertisements that are featured on videos, such as in-feed video advertisements and in-stream video advertisements. Pay search advertisements are advertisements that are featured in search engines. Email inbox advertisements are advertisements that are featured in email inboxes. Guerrilla advertisements are advertisements that are featured in public places, such as concerts. or venues. Specialty advertisements involve giving away small handy items to the target market, such as mugs, key rings, and pens, which have the company's name and logo embedded on them, and that can also even feature a promotional message on them. Display advertisements are advertisements that are featured on websites. Display advertisements, for instance, can encompass banner advertisements and pop-up advertisements. Native advertisements are also advertisements that are featured on websites. Native advertisements, for instance, can encompass pay-per-click advertisements that advertise products which are germane to the content of the website that has native advertisements embedded on it. So, there are an exorbitant amount of disparate types of advertisements for companies, brands, and marketers to leverage at their own discretion. You're not pigeonholed into utilizing one type of advertisement. Your marketing campaigns could be comprised of a plethora of disparate types of advertisements. You can refine your marketing campaigns over time to render them all the more lucrative. You want them to yield high conversion rates. You want them to yield a low cost per acquisition. You want them to be efficacious at drawing forth sales. You do not want them to be unfruitful, unavailing, nugatory, inefficacious, nor impotent. So, take heed of revamping your marketing campaigns as deemed necessary. You can meticulously analyze the customer-driven analytical data in order to glean insights about which marketing campaign elements are deemed to be unprofitable and which marketing campaign elements are deemed to be profitable. The unprofitable marketing campaign elements can be jettisoned from your marketing campaigns, and the profitable marketing campaign elements can be further augmented. You want to be able to optimize your marketing campaigns and not hemorrhage nor needlessly squander marketing dollars. So, meticulously analyze the customer-driven analytical data in order to ascertain which elements of your marketing campaign are causing you to needlessly hemorrhage marketing dollars. The elements of your marketing campaign that are efficacious at eliciting high conversion rates should be further augmented, enhanced, and refined so that they can yield better results. You want to be able to exceed sales forecasts. You want to be able to generate a substantial amount of sales revenue and profits. You also want to be able to elicit a high sales volume. You do not want your company to generate negative net income, nor become defunct. So it is incumbent it is paramount, it is pivotal, it is of eminent importance that you leverage advertisements that are able to yield high conversion rates, especially if you lack substantial brand recognition, strong brand loyalty, robust brand equity, and an extraordinary brand image. Your advertisements heighten awareness of your product offerings and service offerings, and companies profusely rely upon their advertisements to stimulate sales so that they can thrive, prosper, and flourish. Without sales, your earnings potential will be severely undermined. You want to be able to amplify your market share. You want to be able to amplify your profit margins. You want to be able to cultivate brand growth. You want to be able to amplify your customer base. You want to be able to amplify your brand advocate base. If you have a dearth of sales, then it will redound to your disadvantage. However, if you have a substantial amount of sales, then it furnishes you with greater retained earnings if you're profitable, which you can invest into research and development efforts for the prospect of developing more innovative products, or you can even invest your retained earnings into pursuing additional expansion opportunities for the prospect of further increasing your sales volume, sales revenue, and profits over time. Your retained earnings do not just have to be doled out as distributions to your shareholders. They can be earmarked towards pursuing research and development efforts, and earmarked towards pursuing expansion opportunities if you so choose to do so. But there's no basis for developing new products and further expanding your business if you have scant skills. I meant to say there's no basis for further developing your products and further expanding your business if you have scant, infinitesimal sales, and if you cannot afford to sustain your business operations. So I hope that you deem this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.